Hello everyone, so I will be doing 5 random books that I recommend. The first book is City of Thieves by David Benioff. So this is a historical fiction novel set during the Nazi siege of Leningrad. So Lev is thrown in jail where he meets Kola, and instead of being executed, they are given a task to find a dozen eggs for the colonel's daughter's wedding cake. So this is an impossible task because the town they're in is in deprivation. They're cut off from all supplies. So they have to go across enemy lines to complete this task. So I'm not a big historical fiction novel reader. I have nothing against them. I just don't gravitate towards them. But a friend recommended me this book and I absolutely love it. So you will go through an emotional roller coaster. You'll laugh and you'll cry, but I really appreciate the humor parts in it because I'm not overwhelmed with sadness. I really enjoy the relationship between Lev and Kola. They're like total opposites, but that's what makes them great. Lev is shy and insecure, while Kola is clever and well with the ladies. It's kind of like an odd couple relationship, so I really enjoyed it. The second book I recommend is Brain on Fire, My Month of Madness by Susannah Cahalan. So this is a memoir about when Susannah was 24. She wakes up in a hospital with no memory of how she got there. So days before, she was in a good relationship, she had a good job, but now she's labeled as psychotic. So what I like about this book is that it makes you see mental health and the health profession in a different light. They were so quick to label her as bipolar or schizophrenic that they didn't think of anything else until one doctor saved her life. But it kind of makes you think because she had hallucinations, she was paranoid, she had violent tendencies, that you would assume that she would have some type of mental issue. So it's kind of sad and scary to think that other people are like her, that were misdiagnosed and are still untreated today. So I also liked that she kind of had to put pieces together of what happened to her because she had no memory of it, so she had to do some investigating and interview her family and friends to see what happened to her during those days when she was at her darkest moments. So the third book I highly recommend is Let's Pretend This Never Happened, a mostly true memoir by Larsson. I absolutely loved this book. It had me laughing so hard. Jenny is a brilliant storyteller, and the words she strings along to describe something is absolutely amazing. It really paints a picture. What I also loved about it is that she is so open with her struggles with mental illness. She also suffers from depression and anxiety, and so it was great to see her struggles and like her highs and her lows, because I also suffer from it, and so it's just great to relate to somebody and see that it is manageable and that you can turn an embarrassing moment that, you know, would trigger something and turn it into something positive and laugh it off, or, you know, turn it into a great story. The fourth book I recommend is The Rules of Attraction by Bret, Easton, Ellis. So this is a fiction novel set in the 80s at a liberal arts college. It's about like 3 different main characters and their different views of the college and the parties. So what I loved about it is that I liked hearing the different perspectives of each character on this same event and how they see it differently. So Bret Easton Ellis books is not for everyone. Some people find his writing to be boring or pretentious, but I enjoy him. I did feel uncomfortable at some points because he goes into detail on sex and drugs, but that's what I enjoy about it because it makes me feel a different feeling than I do when I read other books. I do recommend this for an older audience. So the last book I recommend is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson. So this might not seem as random because I do talk about it a lot, but I love this book and the series, and so I highly recommend him. So it's about Mikkel, who is a journalist, and he is hired to solve the disappearance of a girl who went missing over 40 years ago. And from there he hires Lisbeth, who is a hacker, to help him solve the case. So I really love this book, and I really look up to the character Lisbeth. Some of her traits I wish I had. I wish I was a hacker. I wish that I had her skill level and how she's always prepared for things, and she's so self-sufficient and so badass, I should say. Some of these books in the series are hard to get into. It's a slow start, but once you get into it, you can't put it down, and I highly recommend them. So those are the 5 random books that I recommend. Like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye!